Now I have been working on this for the last 3 days and I think I have something to show to you. So the user comes ahead and gives a user query and out comes a complete video that you can publish. And you can integrate the YouTube API as well to get that YouTube video published instantly. Now we put in the user query, we get the video, but the behind the scenes and the backend things we are going to see. Let's get started. What do we have here? I am calling this repo as an idea to social media video, and we have just a few files. In the main.py file, I've written a few functions that does most of the work. So let's get started and get a high-level view first, and then go and look at each of the functions. Now before we take a high-level view, let's look at the output of one of the outputs here. So the prompt was, give me some news on Paris. So what it does is that it goes through the recent URLs, recent articles, and comes up with a paragraph here. So it generates the title and the description of the YouTube video as well. Then it proceeds to generate the images. As you can see, beautiful images. We will see how we have generated these images and what service did we use to generate this image automatically. We have voice generation as well, which I have not shown in this Gradio interface, but we generate the voices as well. If you go to this folder on the audio, you can see that we generate these voices automatically, text to speech, and then we compile the entire video. You can download this video. I'm going to play this video to you and take a look at the output here.
Central Park just hit 29 consecutive days without measurable rainfall, the second longest streak in recorded history dating back to 1869. This dry spell is so bad that if it continues, October will become the driest calendar month in city history. The longest rainless stretch in Central Park was set in 1924 with 36 days. And this dry spell is on track to break a century-old record. Meteorologists say the high-pressure system and moisture-lacking air are to blame for the dry conditions, which may reduce weed and mosquito populations, but also increase wildfire risks and stress trees. Meanwhile, pilot program testing of all weapon scanners in New York City subway stations did not detect any firearms, but generated over 100 false positives. The NYPD performed 2749 scans during the 30-day pilot program, with 118 false positives and 12 knives recovered. The Legal Aid Society has criticized the program, calling it an objectively a failure and asking that it be shelved for good. Additionally, a New York City employee health plan will stop covering weight loss drugs like Zepbound and Wegovy for employees next year, citing the high cost of the medications. If the city had been paying for these drugs in error, but will continue to cover them for patients who use them to treat diabetes, not weight loss. The historic East Harlem branch of the New York Public Library will reopen on Wednesday with modern upgrades, including new heating, air conditioning, and spaces for teens and children. And finally, the Red Hook waterfront in Brooklyn, once home to some of the busiest piers on the East Coast, is now a desirable tract of waterfront land that could fit thousands of housing units, but some want to protect the existing marine operations and restore the working waterfront they see as vital to New York City. Thank you for reading. If you want to stay up to date on the latest news and articles, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Cool. As you can see, we have generated an entire video using just a prompt. Now, there are so many things that is going behind the scenes. So let's take a peek look of the high level first, and then we would go through the code interface, code level. So, idea to YouTube video generation. I'm always fascinated with the concept of idea to YouTube video generation, generating video automatically and publishing to YouTube channel and generating income from that channel. Let's see how far this goes and how far I can take this with. But in this channel, I'm not going to publish those videos, the AI generated videos. I'm gonna create a new channel and make and publish those videos there. But in this channel, you're going to see how we created this system. Been working on this for the last 3 days. I have quite a lot of things done and a lot of things planned, so you can join and let's get started. So the user comes up and says something, a user query, say I want a video to be made on Paris, recent news on Paris. Then this goes to the internet search. We have service known as Exa. So if I go and show you Exa AI, exa.ai, This is the search engine for AI. It organizes the web using embeddings. Basically, if you go and sign up, you will be able to go to the playground. You can see quite a lot of things. So let's say search. You can search for academic paper about the recent advancements in quantum computing. Then you can go ahead and number of items here. You can run this and you can see that we have the response on the right here. So these are the different articles. Now in my code, what I've done is after I get those articles, so if you go back to the diagram, so if I get the URLs here, I put those URLs to the Novita LLM, and that LLM is going to generate a summary. Okay, and once we get the summary, I'm going to pass it through another LLM. Well, two different LLMs. The first is going to generate photos, and this photo generation process is itself different, and this LLM is just going to generate the prompt for generation of the photos, and that prompt is going to pass through a photo generating LLM, and that LLM is going to generate the photos. Okay, Novita LLM, we generate the sentences as well, we generate the voices as well, but for generation of these voices we are using DeepGram. So this service is done by DeepGram, and again this service is done by the LLM running on Novita AI, which we will see in just a second. Then we have this MoviePy. It's a free platform or free library that you can use, where you can take in the photos, you can take in the voices, you can take in background music. Well, for the background music I have given a set of 5-6 background musics, and it is going to randomly select any one of that. We can add the transition, the effects, and the syncing of audio and photo duration. So if your audio is, let's say, 5 seconds, then the photo should be shown for that 5 seconds as well. So those things are being done by using this MoviePy library, and it's pretty amazing. So this is the entire process. I have forgot to mention that I have DeepGram here, so just let me make this now itself. So I have the service known as DeepGram here for text to voice generation, and that is a pretty amazing service. So we have, I think this is inside, we have DeepGram inside of the voice generation. So we are using DeepGram here, and you're using Novita. So we'll have a look at the entire pipeline in the code level. Now everything is done in the Gradio interface. I've set up a Gradio interface as well, so that you can use it easily. So for example, if you go to this Gradio interface, what do you have here? We just put in our query here, give me some news on Paris, and click on generate. And what are the things that you will see? The first thing you will see is that the URLs that is being used to make this video. Then the paragraph. So by reading the contents of the URL, it is going to create a paragraph. Now for each of the sentences that you see, so each of the sentence, for each of the sentence, it is going to create an audio file and an image file. Okay, then it's going to create the title and the description of the YouTube video as well, with lots and lots of hashtags. Okay, after it generates the images and the audio, so these are the images and the audio as well. Once we generate this, then we are going to compile this into a video format and save it in a different folder. So that's the entire process. We'll go through the code now step by step. This would be a very slow video, but I hope you get the idea and the efforts that I'm putting here. Starting with, we have I've created a repo as well, so you can go ahead and just clone the repo. So you can say git clone this repo, and then you will have all these files here. You need to create a virtual environment. I mentioned all the steps here. So you need to create a virtual environment, activate the virtual environment, install all the requirements, and then set up this environment key. Now before we go to the creation of the environment keys, I'm going to go ahead and read the features. So we have web scraping for recent news articles. So when you put in the user query, we scrap the web using Exa. We have AI powered text summarization, which are using LLMs. Automatic image generation based on content. So the LLM will generate the relevant content or relevant prompt for generation of the photos, and we'll create the photos. Text to speech narration. This is done by a service known as DeepGram. Automatic video assembly with transition and effects. This is done by MoviePy here. YouTube ready title and description generation. This is done by the first LLM itself. Of course, now I do realize I need to make a little bit of correction here. So this LLM is going to produce the YouTube title and description, because after the summary generation is obtained, I made the YouTube title and description. I will do the necessary changes, but it's easy to use in web interface. So this is our project. This is our project that we are doing. So you can feel free to fork it and contribute for it. Okay. So where were we? So we created a virtual environment, we install all the requirements, and then we need the environment variables. Now for the environment variables, we can go back to the code here. So .env, you will have this .env.example. You can go ahead and rename it to .env. And this has been added in the git ignore file. So feel free, it's not going to be published on the internet even if you push this code. So we have .env.example here. Now we need a few things here. So first of all is the Exa API, which is the web searching API. Go to the API key here. We have this API key. So take one API key and put it here. Next is deepgrams. So deepgram is an AI text to speech, speech to text, and whatnot. So I have a few credits here, so therefore I decided to use this. But anyway, this is a pretty good service. But you can use any other service. You can use 11 Labs. You can use any other open source thing. As you can see, I have about $200 of credit, and therefore I've decided to use this. And the voice is also pretty good. So you can just create a new API key and paste it here. Okay. Next, we go to the Novita API key. Now, Novita, this video is sponsored by Novita. Now, using Novita AI, we can do so many things. My PC is not sufficient to run many of the things, so I can use their hosted APIs. I can use the GPU instance for running other things. I can use a completely serverless solution that scales up and down based on my requirement or based on the number of customers that I have. So you go to Playground, and I do have a link. You can go through the link and subscribe to the service through my link. That's an affiliate link for sure. Thank you. Then we go to Playground. We go to LLMs here. Here we can see a host of different LLMs. We have so many LLMs. Now, one of the things that is many uncensored elements. You can use that uncensored elements to create different chatbots, uncensored chatbots for your own use case. And I have a video, I think it will be published in 1 to 2 days, where I have made a Telegram bot using their service. So stay tuned for that video. But once you go here, and let me take one model. Let's say I take this Llama 3.1 8 billion instruct. So what I can do is that I can go to this view code here, and then you'll see that this is the way how we can use this code. So I'm going to take this model, okay, and then I'm going to take this base URL. So base URL, I'm going to copy it here. This is the base URL, and the Novita API key is something which you will get in your profile. You go to keys, and then you can create a new key, or you can copy this key and paste it here. So these 4 things. The first is a web search, then we have text to voice, then we have Novita API. Now Novita API will do the summarization, will make prompts for your image generation, and even the image generation we are going to use Novita API. How? So we go to Playground, we go to image here, and you can see there are so many different images. Okay, for example, you take this image and take this model, and try an example here, and go to the sample code and go to Python. You can see this entire code for you. This is pretty simple and straightforward. So as you can see, we have different uncensored models as well. So this is an uncensored model. I may not click this on YouTube. This is an uncensored one. I cannot click. There is no may. I should not, and I cannot click this while I'm making a YouTube video, but you get the idea. For example, you have this, so you can try an example here and just press on generate, and you will see that there will be 4 number images 4. There will be 4 images which will be generated. I should have clicked on 1 because it's taking so much of your time. But this is how you get started with the image generation, and we'll use this code for the image generation process. In the meantime, while this is generating, I would like to go back to the code and have a look at the code. So this is the environment variables. Let's go back to the GitHub repo. So this is the structure. Inside the audio videos, we'll have an audio folder which will host the generated audio files. We have the image folder which will host the generated image files, and an output folder which will host the final video and the text outputs. So main.py is the main application file. Now let's go back. So we have this audio file. So there are different audios which has been generated from my last run images. We can see there are different images which has been generated from my last run. Then we have the music. These are some of the music that I kept, and I have made this as a random process of selecting any one of the music while generating. You can manually tune this as well. Now this is the output video that we'll have the description and title as well. We'll have the script here and the final output video here. Okay, so having done that, I can go, I think, to the main.py file. So let us see the images that have been generated. So you can see that these are the different images that has been generated, and that is pretty fun. So let's move back to the code. So this is our code. The first step is we do a bunch of imports. We import the Gradio as well. We import Exa, which is the web search. We import the .env, which is for loading the environment files. We have OpenAI because we are going to be using the OpenAI style of starting up the client. We are not going to use OpenAI API because that would incur so much cost here. So we import the MoviePy editor as well. That's a free editor you can use. Now we need to do a bunch of imports from deepgram as well. We load the environment variables here, all the environment variables. So Exa environment variables, Novita, base URL, and DG or deepgram API keys. We start up the client using the Novita API keys. We make 3 folders: audio, images, and output. If it doesn't exist, if it exists, then we don't make. We have this model for image generation, for photo, for summary model, for summary generation, we have this model. For the prompt generation for the photo, we have this model as well. So the same model will generate the summary for you and generate the prompt for your photo. Now this is the first function. This scrapes the web and returns the URLs. Next is the generate summary. This is just a completion, and you can see that we have given the content here. You can change the content and play with it. Given the article, it will create a summary for your article, and it will return a list of sentences that we have. I mean a Python list. Next we have this generate prompt, photo prompt. So this will generate a photo prompt. It will not generate the photo, but just a prompt to be sent to a different LLM which will generate the photo. So generate a vivid and well-crafted prompt for the photo generation based on user input. Okay, so this will generate the photo prompt. Next, it will generate the voice. So we'll try with deepgram's client. We'll come up with audio from the summarized text that we have. Then we are going to amplify the audio as well, because the audio generator is little less, so I've decided to amplify it by about 20%, or let's see, our dB gain is 5, just 5 dB. It's enough for the amplification. Next we generate this photo. So this is the entire photo generation process from Novita client, as you have seen here. So we can go here and copy this code, put in the model name here, put in the sampler here. So this is what I've done. I've taken this model and taken the sampler, given the width and the height, CFG scale, steps, batch size is 1, and you can save the model into a folder. Okay, that folder is this folder image. The voices are saved here. The final output is saved here in the output. Then we generate the YouTube video description and title, and we start up that same model, Novita AI, which is the instruct model of Llama 3.1, and then we save those results in a new file here in the output itself, which is the description and title.txt. okay, we need to read that same file as well. for a different purpose. We are saving the description and title file. Then we are going to add centered subtitles. This is the function for subtitles, and not yet added subtitles, but you can play with it. Slow zoom effect, which we have used indeed. We put in the input clip. This is going to put in the zoom factor and duration of this. This is a pan effect you can use. So this is the main function where we assembly everything. So we have the music, so we get the music, we get any random music from the choice of music that we have here, and then is set as a background music. Then we go through each of the things that have been created. So each of the image or each of the audio that has been created, we go ahead and load up this audio clip, and the image clip is made a duration of the audio clip. So if the audio clip is 7 seconds, we make the image clip as 7 seconds. Next we add the fade in and fade out here. So on the first slide, I'm gonna say welcome to my YouTube channel. That is the Gill Sans Ultra font size 64, red color, as you have seen on the start of the video. Let me show you. So you can see this red color text, that is that thing that I mentioned here. Now we are adding the background music. We are using the slow zoom effects as well for the rest of the videos. You can see the else here. So if the first slide is welcome to my YouTube video, and the rest of the slides I'm adding the slow zoom effect. I'm using a random factor of till 1.6, 1 to 1.6. The zoom factor I'm using random because it's fun. And if we have the background music, we are adding the background music as well. Now we are saving the entire YouTube video here, which is final video.mp4. Need to put this process request. So this is the entire process that will compile every process. So we make a new function on as process request that uses all the other functions. For example, article text. So web scraper returns an article text and the URLs. The generate summary takes in the article text and returns a list of sentences or a summarized paragraph, or the script if you say. We save this sentence to a script, so output script.txt. We will have this script here. Once you have the script, we would say that there are this many sentences in the script. Then we take this script inside of paragraph variable. We pass that paragraph variable to generate YouTube description and title. This is going to generate a description and title and save the output to description and title.txt. Then we go ahead and make the images and videos. So we say that for each of the sentences that we have, we enumerate through the sentences. So this is the serial number IDX, and this is the actual sentence. So for each of the sentence in the sentence, what we do is that we generate the photo description first. Okay, so the photo description is this: generate photo prompt, and we put in the sentence, we generate a description, and using that description we generate the photo itself. Then we generate the voice as well based on the sentence. So we read out those sentences using a generated voice. We amplify the audio as well, and that is done. The image part is this, and this is saved as the output images here. Okay, then we are going to assemble the video. So this is the for loop. It goes through the entire sentences. It goes through the required number of photos. For example, we have 12 photos here, 13 photos here. So it'll go through each of the steps and create the 13 photos. And that 13 number is not fixed. It depends on the prompt, depends on the URLs that has been generated. The LLM decides how many PNGs, how many images that you need to make. Now we're going to assemble everything. We are going to assemble the video, and we are going to save the video in the final video.mp4. Okay, this is the Gradio interface. So we have this thing set up. So first is we put in a search input, and that's a text box that you can see. So this is a text box, so you can enter here and placeholder latest news on robotics. If you don't enter anything, it will show you latest news on robotics. Then we have the generate button here. Then we have the text box as the URL of the articles here, and then we have the actual text box. So paragraph text box label generated paragraph is this one. Then we have a text box known as generated description and title, which is this text box here. Then we have the generated images in a gallery view. We scale of 3, so we are going to see those images as well. Then we have the video output here on the lower side. We have this generated video as the label here, and you can see it in a gallery view. So we have this submit button, and we are putting all the variables here. So when we press on, click on submit, then these are the outputs which will be obtained. So once we have those outputs, it will be displayed here like this. Okay, so and then we demo.launch. This is going to launch the Gradio app. Now let's get started and just run it once so that it is easy for you to see how this process flows. So I can say main python main.py. So I can say python main.py, and this is going to start up the Gradio interface. It's going to make everything ready. So I'm going to click on here, and you can see that we have this auto video generator. So I can say like latest news on Biden maybe, or Elon Musk. Okay, we click on generate here, and then you'll be able to see the outputs here. So we see that we have 10 number of URLs which has been used, and now it's creating the summary. So you can see that this is the summarized version. Now we have the YouTube description as well here. YouTube description and title has been made. We have the script here. So Elon Musk, the world's richest man, is attempting to create a secret compound in Austin with a compound valued at $33 million consists of 400 square feet mansion. And you can see this is the script here. So what next? We see that there are 12 sentences in the summarized paragraph, and these are the paragraphs here. So the title and description has been made, as you can see in the output folder. Now this is the photo description for photo 0. So capture the sprawling modernist estate hidden behind the wall. So this is the prompt. This is the audio deepgram which is created. Now volume is increased by 5 dB, and photo number 0 is done. So you can go back to the folder of photo, and there are other images as well. Those will be replaced, but this first photo is done. So this is the first photo that has been made using the LLM NR process. So in this way, it is going to make all the photos. So we see we have 10 number of things to be made, 12 number of things to be made. So it is going to make all those 12 sentences. Now it's all is being prepared, but once you have the output, you will have something like this, which and you will see that we have the URLs, you have the generated paragraphs, you have the title and the description as well, we have the generated images, and we have the complete video. Now you can download this video and upload it on YouTube, or you can use the YouTube API as well, which I will show you in the next video. You can use the Google's YouTube API and you can just publish it automatically. So what do you think? Do we have a potential to free up some time using this process and creating our own YouTube channel using AI? If you like this video, I urge you to join my Patreon, because I really need a lot of support from you guys, and I will keep on modifying this code. You can go ahead and fork this. I will merge all the pull requests. Thank you for joining in this video, and I will see you next time.